Hey everyone, Egman here with another video. Today I've got a deck list for the movie promo Broly that came out like back in September. Once again, thank you to my friend Noah for getting me this. Really awesome leader and very cool to have him in my collection. And he won me a locals tonight too, so very cool. So the auto for this card is when this attacks the leader, you may choose one card in your life and put it into the drop area, then put up to 3 cards from the top of your deck into your drop area, and then your opponent discards 1 card. So it's kind of like Self-Awakening, but instead of you plussing a card, your opponent minuses a card. So it's still basic card economy in the sense that, oh, you know, your opponent's losing something, but it does suck that the life goes to the drop area, but it's still, I think, pretty relevant. And then it's a draw 2 leader, so that's kind of why life to the drop area is okay, because you get to draw 2. And then on the Awaken side, this is where the value of the card really comes. So auto, when this card attacks, you can draw 1 card. You draw 1 card, and then you can choose one of your non-token, non-black cards, place it in your drop area, and if you do so, your opponent chooses 1 card in their hand and places it in the drop area. And then additionally, choose 1 card in your hand. This is an active made once per turn. Choose 1 card in your hand, place it in your drop area, and then you choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards and KO it. So that's really powerful. Just the fact that you can discard 1 card and destroy something on your opponent's side, that's really powerful. And then some extra like hand destruction if needed, if you have extra battle cards out. So very, very cool leader. And let's see what I built around it. So first card is a bit let's just go into the Negotiator Krillin. This is probably one of the weaker cards in the deck, but he's still really good. He's a 1-drop green, which is nice, so it gives us something to do on turn 1. He's barrier, so he sticks around pretty easily, and then also he's like a pseudo like super combo. If you combo with him from the battle area, you can discard 1 card in your opponent's battle or combo area, so really good for out comboing and being offensive. And just, you know, gives us ways to fill our energy on turns when it's a little bit awkward, and overall just a really good card. So 4 of those. Next up we've got 4 of one of my favorite cards in the deck, for Chile the Beautiful. She does so much for this deck. There's so much destruction abilities, and so being able to continue to plus just by having them discard cards and kind of play like the hand advantage game, especially since with Broly Legendary, you know, Legends Dawning, if you play his Awakening effect by discarding a card, then they lose not only a card in the field, but they also lose a card in their hand. So they go -2 when you only go -1, so that's an easy +1. It's only once per turn, but if you have multiple of these out on the field, they all proc at the same time, which is nice. And it can also proc in your opponent's turn, which will be nice when you see in the future some of the next cards. So next up we've got 4 of the Endless Evolution Broly. This used to be a promo, and then it's another promo, but essentially permanent when evolving Broly, you decrease it by 2 green, so the only evolved target we have is this guy, but it makes this, you can put this for 1 green energy, this Ultimate Box Broly. But also when this card's put into play, your opponent chooses 1 of their battle cards and KO it. It's weird that your opponent gets to choose the cards they KO, but most of the time they only have 1 or 2, and if you have this Awakened, you know, it's still like, they only have 2, then you still get to choose which one they just destroy. So very cool. It does not get around barrier because it's still your effect, so your opponent can't choose that, but that is okay. But leading right up into this 4-drop Broly, this guy is so cool. He only works for Broly leaders, which is why people probably haven't seen it as much. It's alright, but it's a 4-drop. You can play it for 1 green energy on top of the, once again, Endless Evolution Broly. And when this card's put into play, your opponent either KOs 1 of their battle cards or discards 2 cards. So the wording is chooses 1 of their cards and KO it, and if it's not KO'd, they discard 2 cards. So that means that even if they have something with barrier that's their only battle card, it's not KO'd because it's, once again, it's your effect, so it's not affected by it, and then they have to discard 2 cards. Discarding 2 cards is really good, but also, like, if they have if you have like a Chile out on the field, it becomes, okay, do you want to discard 2 cards, or do you want to KO 1 of your cards and discard 1 card, which is, once again, really good. Really cool. It's only a 40k, it doesn't have double strike, which is weird. You'd think this guy would have double strike, but still 20k body that can come out for 1 green, which is nice. Usually what happens is that I play him, blow up something, swing, and then swing with my leader and blow him up, just because he's not really important to have on the field. So Additionally, you can't evolve him into himself for 1 green energy. You have to pay the full 3 green cost, but that's still like a little bit of a discount, which is nice. Next up is, oh, here it is, the spice, the green Krillins from Clash of Fates. 4 of each. This one is like a deadly defender that comes out on 1 and gets you a card draw. It has barrier, and then also this is just a blocker, but when it comes in the field you get to blow up something, which is also nice. Once again with Chile, you really want Chile on your field as much as possible. It's a lot of value. Just very good card. And since we're blowing up some stuff and we also have Krillins, we gotta run the Final Showdown Sengoku. This is the main way we can proc Chile on your opponent's turn. They blow up your Krillin, you summon this, blow up something of theirs, and then immediately they have to discard a card. So can kind of snipe cards out of your opponent's hand like that, not expecting it, and just a very good card, especially because this can blow up stuff with barrier. So this can kind of be like a Sengoku Shugesh kind of combo in kind of a more modern era. So that's it for the green cards. Now we've got some blue. So we've got 4 Borgos and 4 Sengoku striving to be the best. These are just kind of for more defensive, especially since Storm is still legal. I still think the game will be pretty fast, but this definitely helps slow it down. Being able to stop your opponent from untapping. One of the people I played was playing Soul Striker, so this was really good against Soul Striker. And then one of the other matchups I played was Storm, so this is really good against Storm. So just in general, blue is really good for being defensive, and these are 2 really good defensive blue cards, so I put those in. And then also, since I'm running blue, of course I have to run 4 Sensu Bean, and then I also ran 4 Whisu's Coercion. Whisu's Coercion is just great negate, and then Sensu Bean's great for manipulating energy when we need to, just really defensive in that sense. So good there. That's all for the blue stuff. Usually just charging 1 or 2 blue. I think it's really necessary if you are worried about kind of getting rushed down. But if you're not really worried about that, or if in the next couple weeks that's not really happening, it's kind of more of a turn 3, turn 4 game, I could definitely see signing those out or changing that from something else. So lastly, our black cards. We don't have a lot. We've got 4 Trunks and 2 Shenron. Whenever I got Shenron out, it was really powerful. I really do like this because you could just use Shenron. You can cycle out either a Son Goku, or you could also cycle out a Chile. And just having her out and being able to stack these out is just a lot of value. And you draw a card when you activate the effect. Just a lot of value is gained from this. So it's just a shame that it's 4 energy, especially since we're not an untapped leader. But if you get him out and he sticks there, you pretty much win the game. You just generate so much value off this deck. So that's really good. You can also get Negotiator Krillins, but that's not a big of a thing. And then Temporal Rescue Trunks, just because we can get this active on turn 1, because when we activate the non-awakened side ability, we put 4 cards in our drop. So once again, you don't have to choose all 3 cards. It specifically says place up to 3 cards from the top of your deck into your drop area. So normally what I just did was I would attack once, put 3 cards there, and then if I need more, like 1 more for 5, then I'd do it. But especially since we're not running like any big sparking things besides Shenron, I thought it was good enough. I've thought about putting some Overwhelm into this, but we do use some of our graveyard stuff for Shenron, so I haven't thought about it. But right now, I feel like this deck is super solid. And once again, I went 4-0. My matchups were I played against another kind of Let's Kill Krillin-like archetype with Shenron, which was pretty good. I was just able to decimate his hand and control the game from there. And then I also played against a Android Super 17 engine. Android 1718 was the leader, but I was able to stall him at 7 life, and so he couldn't get cards, and I was able to just blow up everything, and yeah, and then I was able to get a Shenron out on the field and just control it from there, and pretty much keep plinking his life, and then using an effect to discard the cards he got from his life, and just go from there. Game 3. I played against the Soul Striker. It was really close. He was running a really cool blue-green variant. Unfortunately, I got Borgos out pretty early, and that helped me pretty much stabilize and just control the early game until I could build my super combos. or not super combos, but just build my big combos to win from there. And lastly, the Broly Storm deck I played was really good. I got lucky with getting my 2-drop Gokus out pretty early in Borgos, so I was just able to control. I even though I got was that 1-drop Frieza, what is it? The one that turns a barrier card to rest mode, and he also played the Vegeta that KO'd it. I was able to kind of, it was really close, but I was able to kind of stall him out and get enough value to end the game. So that's it. That's the deck. Any longtime fans might be like, hey, wait a minute, this is the deck profile that you did 3 days ago or whatever. Why are you still doing this? And it's simply because Android said I wouldn't. So there we go. Android, here's the deck profile. Again, you caused this. You wasted people's minutes for rewatching this. So hashtag called out. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys for watching again, if that's the case. Let me know what you think about this deck again, and any improvements or thoughts about it in general. So thank you guys so much, and I'll catch you all next time.